Hey cool kids, this week I'm finally returning to the alphabet challenge, this time with the letter F. For those who don't know, the alphabet challenge, originally inspired by Drawing with Waffles, is a challenge where you draw your favorite character whose name starts with each letter of the alphabet. I decided to give myself the additional challenge that I want to choose 2 characters from the same franchise and that all the images would be the same size just for consistency's sake. Now, I haven't done one of these in a while for a couple of reasons. It's partially because when I first took on this challenge, it was when I had just decided that I was going to start uploading weekly, and I didn't really have any ideas of what I wanted to draw, so a challenge like this seemed like a nice fallback if I ever didn't know what to draw, which, I mean, that was a really nice idea in theory, but I've gotten to the point where I have more ideas for illustrations than I'll ever have time to make, and I've found that I've got to buffer out my longer speed paints with more low-stress videos like challenges or sketchbook tours just so I don't get burned out. My plan was to do at least one alphabet piece a month, but then I kept getting ideas for more relevant videos. Like, this week I was actually torn over whether I wanted to do this video or fan art for a video game I just completed, but the video game fan art was going to be a lot more involved than this piece was, and I've been a little under the weather this week, so I decided to go with this simpler fan art instead. On top of that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for the letter F. Like, Finn was always my backup plan in case I couldn't come up with anyone else, which is what ended up happening. And like, I do really like Finn. Like, I think some cartoons struggle to make a leading character who's someone children can relate to and enjoy without making the character aggressively obnoxious, and I think Adventure Time pulls that off really well. But Finn is pretty low on my list of favorite Adventure Time characters. And again, this isn't me dissing Finn, because I do genuinely love him. It's just that Adventure Time has such a rich cast of fun and interesting characters. Like, if I had to pick my favorite, it would probably be Tree Trunks, honestly, followed by LSP, because, I mean, who doesn't love LSP? But I figured I finally had to commit to using Finn for F so I could move on with the series, so here we are. I'll be honest, I actually only got into Adventure Time sort of recently. It first came out when I was very much in that phase of, I'm in high school now, so I'm like practically an adult and I only have time for sophisticated television like House or Death Note, and Western animation is for babies and I'm not a baby and I'm into whatever. So basically I missed out on it. It wasn't until a couple years later when I was on DeviantArt and I saw some bubbly and fan art that I was like, you know what? Maybe I misjudged this show and decided to start watching it, but I'm not really good at just sitting down and watching a show while it's airing, so like, I'd catch episodes now and then when they came on, but I could never get super into this series because I'd missed the first couple of seasons. But recently for my birthday this year, I decided to treat myself by buying the first 3 seasons on DVD, and I honestly love it so much. And I'm only partway through the 3rd season, so I'm gonna need to buy the next few seasons soon, but I honestly love it, and I'm really kicking myself for not watching it sooner, because I know younger me would have seriously eaten it up. If you've seen my past alphabet videos, you may have noticed that this piece is a little different than the others because it's in landscape. And also because in the past pieces, the central character was the main focus of the piece with a very simple background to bring the character forward more. And I decided to take a different approach with this one. With the past pieces, I also used them as a sort of style study for the art styles the characters were drawn in, so I could incorporate that into the piece outside of Elle Woods, because that was just more of a study of Reese Witherspoon's face. However, with Adventure Time, it's drawn in a very simplistic style, which, I mean, is great from an animation standpoint, but for speed paint, I think it would be a little boring. Instead, I opted to draw Finn in my usual style and instead focused more on the backgrounds in Adventure Time because it does have some really nice set design going on. I was torn over whether I wanted to do a picture of Finn out and about, just adventuring, or a picture of him just chilling in the treehouse with Jake. And I do think drawing him adventuring would have been more true to his character, but I really wanted to draw him inside the treehouse. I do feel like Jake might have stolen the spotlight in this piece a little, both literally because, like, when I was doing the lighting, I accidentally made it so the lighting shine directly on Jake and sort of left Shin in the shadows, but also because I kept Jake in the Adventure Time style, so he stands out a little more than Finn does. I guess I probably should have had more focus on Finn, but I really wanted to draw him and Jake together because it made for a more dynamic piece. I don't know. Maybe the F doesn't stand for Finn. Maybe the F stands for friendship. So I've been practicing that black and white shading method I did on my Poppy piece a little more, mostly just like testing out on headshots, and I found that it works really well if you just use the black and white shading for the base shading, and then merge it with the color layer and use more colorful options for the rest of the rendering so everything doesn't look super desaturated, which was my problem with the Poppy piece, and I mean, it does work really well on headshots, but I didn't really comprehend how much more work it is to render a near full body piece with a full background and 2 characters using this method. I did originally have it scheduled so I'd have enough time to render both the characters and the background, but Finn's face took a lot longer than I thought it would. I really wanted him to look like a 12-year-old because he is 12, and it bothers me when fan art makes him look like some attractive 20-something adventurer because, he's a small baby. He's only 12. However, children and boys are 2 of my weak points in art, so drawing a boy children was very much a struggle. Originally I planned to give him these cherub-esque cheeks, but I abandoned that because it made it look like he just had dental surgery and he had those cotton puffs they stick in your mouth so you don't ingest too much blood or something, and then on top of that his expression is just so dead. Finn is a very expressive kid, but anytime I tried to make a more exaggerated expression, it just looked a little creepy, so I just accepted that he's gonna have to look a little dead inside. Maybe he is just tired, who knows, maybe he really did just come back from dental surgery. On top of that, I got voluntold that I was going to paint windows for a charity event we're doing at work this week, which is fine because I like window painting, but it ate into the time I had for this piece, so I decided to forego any rendering on the background. The sketchy style does sort of help to pull Finn and Jake forward a little, so I guess that works out. I also didn't render Jake as much as I did Finn, and this was a little on purpose and a little because I ran out of time. I wanted Jake to look very much like he wasn't made out of normal dog type material because he's not a normal dog, and I do think that translates, but it does also make him look a little lumpy, and Jake's a little lumpy, so it all made sense in the end. I couldn't find a good place to put the F in this piece, so it looks even less like an alphabet piece, but whatever, I still like it. Plus, I actually do know who I want to draw for the next couple of letters, so that's nice. It hopefully won't be 3 months in between this and the next piece. But that's really all I've got to say for this video, so thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye!